Hello everyone, my name is Tuba. I am the Programs Manager and Facilitator at Embercombe, and today I am with the founder of Embercombe, Macartney. Recently we have been receiving a lot of inquiries around our homegrown programs, The Journey, The Hearth and the Twin Trail, and I thought it would be a really good idea to ask those questions to Mac and hear what he says about them. So, hello Mac, thanks for your time today. One of the questions that we've been receiving is around the difference between those three programs that we run, The Journey, The Hearth and the Twin Trail.
Okay. Well, The Journey is the first program that Embercombe offered way back now, and that program came about through me. In those days it was initially just me asking how can I twine together the core elements of the some of the wonderful stuff that I was taught and have learned in my journey, and wrap that into a week, which felt really rather impossible, but also necessary. So the journey moves through a sort of process, a sequence, which each part of which offers an invitation to those that wish to take it deeper. But within the context of a week, obviously cannot go to those next steps. Now, this is not to say that the journey isn't itself a very deep process. I think it's generally recognized that it is. But it doesn't matter how deep it is, within a week, there will always be almost years that you could go with any of the component parts. And the other thing to say about the journey is that it leads towards the opportunity, but not the necessity of making a promise or a pledge. And that promise or pledge is not made to us who run the program. It's not made to Embercombe, it's not made to the other participants on the program, it's made to life and to yourself, witnessed by us. And that is quite a unique part of that program, because if that promise is big enough to put a slight gulp in your throat, a slight feeling of, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Yet not so great as to feel impossible. If it's enough to feel that it sends a frisson of fear and excitement, then we're probably in a roughly right place. And that promise then leads you on a journey, which, could fill a life. So that's the journey. The Hearth speaks to the fact that with living in such fierce times, and the likelihood that they will continue, if not even become more fierce, as indeed I think they will, it says, let's take the context within which the journey exists, which is affiliation, kinship with nature. Let's do whatever we can to help the participants there, and wherever they are in relationship to nature, deepen that sense of I belong. And this is a well which will never run dry. Here I can visit this place and drink of the waters of that well for the rest of my life. And that manifests itself, that if I can put this in context, that would be many of us living in cities, many of us living in urban areas, still acknowledging, noticing, loving, appreciating the flow of the seasons. That would mean that whether it's a pot plant, a flower trough outside a window, or a garden, that we understand that every time we interact with these other, or our dog, or our cat, or our gerbil, or whatever it is, that we are surrounded by our family and in relationship with our family. And our family is every other living thing on this earth. And the hearth attempts to wrap its loving arms around the individual and say, you know, this is your home. And whether you are from this country or any other country around the world, this is your home. And you are loved. And like any child, as it were, you can love and you can feel loved. And from that place, whatever your work in the world is, you will be held and you'll be able to sustain. You will have resilience. So then if we take the twin trail, which is mentioned in various, not all, but many of Embercombe's programs, and within the journey, it's spoken to and it is explained to some degree. But of course, again, while it may have impact in itself on the journey, there then extends a whole pathway beyond, which would say to someone, if this really resonates, you can go much deeper if you wish to. And that's why we came up with the Twin Trail program. So the Twin Trail says, well, it's born from people that taught me a long time ago, saying, coming out with this sentence, we would not trust any leader, and they were at that time speaking about leaders, but remember what they meant by leader is someone that loves this earth, loves life, and is willing to put their hand up, be seen, and take action on behalf of our earth. We would not trust any leader who was not walking the twin trail, the inner path of their own healing, self-becoming, self-awareness, growing into their potential. We would not trust any person that wasn't committed to that inner trail, not just, as it were, as a step, but forever, because we have the opportunity to forever grow, to forever deepen in the wholeness of our humanity and the people that we are. This is particularly important for older people to really get, because it clashes with the idea that you somehow do your learning at one stage and then become respected, seen, and have permission to give advice, as it were. So that those things perhaps, but certainly forever learning, forever deepening. The outer trail would say, so if an image for the inner trail is the bucket thrown into the well, and deep inside the well, that process of healing and inner growing towards wholeness takes place. How will this be seen in the world? So that's the hauling up of the bucket, and here's the bucket of water. To what will the water be given? You know, towards the bed of roses, you know, towards this, towards that, whatever it is. So that says really, how will we show up in the world? What is the gift? And this is where the principle of reciprocity comes in a way. We are given to all the time, just the extraordinary thing of being alive and living, and the privilege of a life on earth. And it says, you who've been given so much, what will you give? And I would say we were born to give. That this everlasting thing about people wanting to be happy. We are happy when we are in the reciprocity of receiving and giving, with gratitude here, with generosity and love here, as it were. So the Twin Trail takes us on that pathway, and to that we go into Dartmoor. We are surrounded by the incredible beauty of the small gem of a place that we have located, the camp. So that relates to the Hearth. We're there perhaps because whether or not we attended the journey, we are clear that we want our lives to be an expression of something real and of in service to others. And then within the Twin Trail, it's saying, let's now explore how are you seen in the world through the eyes of others and yourself and others. So we look at that picture and we say that, okay, yeah, that resonates. Some of it I like, some of it I don't. And now we're going to go on a sort of deepening embodied journey where we seek to listen very deeply to the instructions that life wishes to give us, and we offer processes and techniques whereby that listening can be facilitated and grown and developed as a skill. And then in another module, because this extends over some months, we come back to Embercombe. We say now we're going to glide our way into the outer trail, and we explore in some depth how each individual, because with each individual it'll be different, we then extend that out into the world. And for different people, different things are frightening or challenging. For some, the inner journey is frankly terrifying, which is why some people never ever engage with it. For some of us, we'd love to spend our whole lives engaged on the inner trail, and though we might not admit it, very frightened about the outer trail. But within the way that we're thinking at Embercombe would say, the two work together. And at a time like this, it is not sufficient only, as it were, to think in terms of growing myself without also thinking about how I am giving. And I personally, in practical ways as well as every other way. So the Twin Trail does that, and then takes us right through to attempting to assist, and by the provision of a coach through the whole period, attempt to help that individual to a place where they really can feel the whole continuum of walking both paths, and actually in the end not one then the other, but simultaneously forever, like the double helix of the DNA spiral, like the wand of Caduceus that the medical profession has. The two snakes are together, wound around each other like rope, and very strong. So those are those three programs.
Fabulous, thank you so much, that's really helpful.
Right.
The next question that I like to ask is around, is there a particular order to those programs?
No, there isn't. I think probably, though this isn't how it was originally conceived, but it has become our position now, I think the real way is for people to look at the offering of those three programs and ask themselves the question, which resonates, or which feels most applicable to where I am now, and then jump in and enjoy. I believe that all three have powerful merit, irrespective of where anyone is on their journey, either in the outer world, in the world of action, or in the world of introspection, in a way. Which I think is something which with the journey in the past, it's been maybe, you know, perhaps that's not for me because I'm already well on my way. I don't think it works like that. I would say that the journey offers you something profound wherever you are on that journey, if you're open to it. I think the Hearth offers something profound to anybody if you're willing to go to that place, and the Twin Trail the same. So there is no particular order. I think it's something that the individual assesses, explores, and then makes a choice. And then, you know, if they feel, because the idea of this, a number of programs, was that at least an attempt on our part to say, if this sort of style and feeling of learning really resonates with you, then here's a handrail that you can periodically take something, go away, and whenever feels right, come back and explore this other piece. But you don't have to do that. You might attend one and feel, you know, that was all you ever wished to do, and on you go. It's just there as a menu. You can either have one course or you can have more.
Obviously, we love to see everyone.
Of course we would, yeah, of course we would. And we believe they have value.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the point is not just to flog places on the programs. The point is being in service to, you know, to our Mother Earth, to all other species, and to all those human beings who perhaps feel in some way what we're offering would nourish and sustain them.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. My last question will be, I mean, you already spoke to this, but just to ask that, what will people gain out of those programs?
Yeah, it's a question that has followed me ever since I first started running some kind of program in my late 20s, early 30s. And I have to say, I feel conflicted about this question, because in many, if not most, programs and things which are offered to people, there is a list of things. There's, by attending this course, you will, and then boom, 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 boom. Sometimes it's an enormously long list. I don't know how people can do that in something like the journey, the Twin Trail, the Hearth. I think we can say we will create the conditions within which you may. We could say that. But there's something else underneath this. I can't remember, but it was one of those, was it a poster in World War I or II where it said, ask not, or maybe it was a poet, I can't remember. Ask not what your country can give you, or something. Ask what you can give to your country. So ask not what life is going to give to you. She's already loaded you with gifts, some in the forms of challenges. Rather ask, what are you going to give to life? So I am a little, I find it, the question, what am I going to get out of this? I'm not very tolerant of, to be honest. I would say, if you give yourself to this experience, you will walk away with gifts. Can I predict what those gifts will be? I can't. Because this is a genuinely authentic offering. We are not going to just railroad you through some process where you're going to get these things, you know. We're not going to do that. We could do it. many programs do that. But we're going to say we're going to open an arena of experience that we are confident that you will receive some powerful gifts if you are willing to open yourself up to the experience. And there is no guarantee that you will do that, and it's entirely in your own hands. So that's I would say, as close as I can get at this moment to the answer to that question. However, I just want to say, if you go on the journey, you will most likely have a profound experience of sense of community with others, of the extraordinary experience of somehow feeling that you're not being judged or assessed, but celebrated. You will have multiple opportunities to catch images of yourself in a mirror that no one else will somehow comment on, really, but you will see. And some of them you'll love, many of them you'll love, and some of them you'll know require further attention. At the end, you will walk away. Some will walk away with absolute clarity about something. Some will walk away with certain things resolved. Some will walk away with more questions. Some will walk away committed for a lifetime. Some will walk away having taken their first tentative step and still not sure. With the Hearth, it's pretty much the same. Some it will be just that moment in their lives where they resonate so powerfully. Their heartbeat and the beat of the drum of life is so strong, they realize they are the same. It is a never forgotten experience and will be with them for the rest of their life. Some tending the twin trail may finally cross that threshold between the journey of their own inner growing to then, I was going to say fearlessly expressing it, maybe even with fear, yet but doing it anyway. Some will, for the first time perhaps, really have some quite truly powerful experiences in realizing that they can actually receive information from nature that will inform them and help them on their onward journey. Some will recognize gifts that they have and for the first time perhaps ever, or more profoundly than ever before, see how this gift they have might find expression in the ordinary commercial world that we're all entwined with.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's been amazing to talk to you, Mac.
Thank you, Tuba. Thank you.
Thanks. And thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you have any questions, please do get in touch. We'd love to see you at Embercombe one day. Take care.
Bye-bye.